It's a journey that I've taken through many years of working with Morgan cars. I'm a photographer at heart. Even beyond automotive things, I take pictures all the time.
And Neil Miller isn't kidding. Since about 1976, this former Fox 10 photographer had an ever-changing gallery at the station. The pictures were mainly candid action shots of staff and news events. He would take the pictures without even looking into the camera, a style all his own.
Monkey business is what I call it. It's just people interacting with each other and photographing it with a flash. Right. And you get the interaction of people looking at each other and, space and time. It's an artistic thing to me.
A photographer for most of his life, in this stack of boxes is Neil Miller's dream realized.
How does this project rank in your entire career of photography?
Well, right now it's rare at the top.
Aside from taking pictures, his other passion is all things Morgan. A love affair that started many years ago.
I had a Jaguar at the time, and it was a nice car. I mean, don't get me wrong, but I wanted something that was a little different, a little smaller, and I just came upon this junkyard that had two of these Morgans. I owned my first one in 1965, bought it in the junkyard, rebuilt it, drove it for 12 years, made a mistake of selling it.
He'd planned his vacations in England to visit the factory where these unique automobiles are made. After spending 3 months there once, Neil became friends with the Morgan staffers.
How did you meet them?
Just by hanging around taking pictures. Wow. Yeah, I mean, in those days, they would actually stop and talk to you and pose and things like that. Peter Morgan I met when I first went there.
That meeting eventually led to Neil's pictures being used in the Morgan brochures. And after years of snapping roughly 15,000 pictures of his favorite car, Neil had an idea, and he pitched it to Mr. Morgan.
About 3 years ago, I approached him with the idea that I want to do a book on the Morgan, and he says, okay.
The rest, as they say, is history.
The name of it is Morgan Exploration.
Most of the pictures inside this newly released book that honors Morgan's 100th anniversary were snapped by Neil.
It goes beyond the car. The people you meet revolving around it are just so varied and unique. It's a sad story. This guy actually lost a finger.
What is he doing?
He's sawing wood.
And as he's learned, you never know who's a big Morgan car collector. Yep, that's Jay Leno.
These cars are art. That's why they've done so well for so many years.
And not only is he pushing Morgan exploration, he's spreading knowledge about the car he knows pretty much everything about.
How much are these cars worth when you get them, up to par and restored?
Oh, restored ones that are in concourse condition, you're talking even for the more inexpensive models around $35,000 up. Their list price was $185,000. Wow. It's like collecting baseball cards at that point almost.
But not as cheap.
Not as cheap, right.
He took me for a ride in his Morgan. He owns two, by the way. And what a ride.
This is your dream.
Pretty much, yeah.
That has come to life.
Yeah, absolutely. It's what I had planned to do over many years. I didn't know if I'd ever make it.